Good morning, and thank you for joining me again today. We're going to continue with Genesis, but as always, if you've been watching my channel, here's our morning prayer. Father, as I read and receive your word, may it deeply be rooted in me, so when difficulty comes, it will be your word that encourages and strengthens me. So let's begin chapter 25, which is the death of Abraham. Now Abraham married again. Keturah was his new wife, and she had bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Joshkan's two sons were Sheba and Dedan. Dedan's descendants were the Asherites, the Tushites, and Lamanites, the Umites. Midian's sons were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, Eldah. These were all descendants of Abraham through Keturah. Abraham left everything he owned to his son Isaac, but before he died he gave gifts to his sons of his concubines and sent them off to the east away from Isaac. Abraham lived for 175 years, and he died at a ripe old age, joining his ancestors in death. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre in the field of Ephron, son of Zor the Hittite. This was the field Abraham had purchased from the Hittites, where he had buried his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God poured out rich blessings on Isaac, who settled near Beer-lahai in Negev. Ishmael's descendants. This is the history of the descendants of Ishmael, the son of Abraham through Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian servant. Here is a list by their names and clans of Ishmael's descendants. The oldest was Nebaioth, followed by Kedar, Abdeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetor, Naphish, and Kedemah. These 12 sons of Ishmael became the founders of 12 tribes that bore their names, listed according to the places they settled and camped. Ishmael finally died at the age of 137 and joined his ancestors in death. Ishmael's descendants were scattered across the country from Havilah to Shur, which is east of Egypt in the direction of Ashur. The clans descended from Ishmael camped close to one another. The births of Jacob and Esau. This is the history of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean from Paddan Aram, the sister of Laban. Isaac pleaded with the Lord to give Rebekah a child because she was childless. So the Lord answered Isaac's prayer, and his wife became pregnant with twins. But the two children struggled with each other in the womb, so she went to the Lord and asked about it. "Why is this happening to me?" she asked. And the Lord told her, "The sons in your womb become two rival nations. One nation will be stronger than the other. The descendants of your older son will serve the descendants of your younger son." And when the time came, the twins were born. Their first was very red at birth, and he was covered with so much hair that one would think he was wearing a piece of clothing. So they called him Esau. Then the other twin was born, and his hand grasping Esau's heel. So they called him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. Esau sells his birthright. As the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open fields, while Jacob was the kind of person who liked to stay at home. Isaac loved Esau in particular because of the wild game he brought home, but Rebekah favored Jacob. One day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home exhausted and hungry from a hunt. Esau said to Jacob, "I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew you made." This was how Esau got his name, Edom, red. Jacob replied, "All right, but you betrayed me your birthright for it." "Look, I'm dying of starvation," said Esau. "What good is my birthright to me now?" So Jacob insisted, "Well then, swear to me right now it is mine." So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his younger brother. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate and drank and went on about his business, indifferent to the fact that he had given up his birthright. Wow. Chapter 26. Isaac deceives Abimelech. Now a severe famine struck the land, as had happened before in Abraham's time. So Isaac moved to Gerar, where Abimelech the king of Philistines lived. The Lord appeared to him there and said, "Do not go to Egypt. Do as I say, and stay here in this land. If you do, I will be with you and bless you. I will give all this land to you and your descendants, just as I solemnly promised Abraham your father. I will cause your descendants to become as numerous as the stars, and I will give them all these lands. And through your descendants, the nations of the earth will be blessed. I will do this because Abraham listened to me and obeyed all my requirements, commands, regulations, and laws." So Isaac stayed in Gerar, and when the men there asked him about Rebekah, he said, "She is my sister." He was afraid to admit that she was his wife. He thought they would kill him to get her, because she was very beautiful. But some time later, Abimelech, the king of Philistines, looked out a window and saw Isaac fondling Rebekah. Abimelech called for Isaac and exclaimed, "She's obviously your wife. Why did you say she was your sister?" "Because I was afraid someone would kill me to get her from me," Isaac replied. "How could you treat us this way?" Abimelech explained. "Someone might have taken your wife and slept with her, and you would have made us guilty of great sin." Then Abimelech made a public proclamation, "Anyone who harms this man or his wife will die." Conflict over water rights. That year Isaac's crops were tremendous. He harvested 100 times more grain than he planted, for the Lord blessed him. He became a rich man, and his wealth only continued to grow. He acquired large flocks of sheep and goats, great herds of cattle, and many servants. Soon the Philistines became jealous of him, and they filled up all Isaac's wells with earth. There were the wells that had been dug by the servants of his father Abraham. And Abimelech asked Isaac to leave the country. "Go somewhere else," he said, "for you have become too rich and powerful for us." So Isaac moved to the Gerar valley and lived near there instead. He reopened the wells his father had dug, which the Philistines had filled in after Abraham's death. Isaac renamed them using the names Abraham had given them. His shepherds also dug in the Gerar valley and found a gushing spring. But then the local shepherds came and claimed the spring. "This is our water," they said, and they argued over it with Isaac's herdsmen. So Isaac named the well Argument because they had argued about it with him. Isaac's men then dug another well, but again there was a fight over it, so Isaac named it Opposition. Abandoning that one, he dug another well, and the local people finally left him alone. So Isaac called it Room Enough, for he said, "At last the Lord has made room for us, and he will be able to thrive." From there, Isaac moved to Beersheba, where the Lord appeared to him on the night of his arrival. "I am the God of your father Abraham," he said. "Do not be afraid, for I am with you and will bless you. I will give you many descendants, and they will become a great nation. I will do this because of my promise to Abraham, my servant." Then Isaac built an altar there and worshipped the Lord. He set up his camp at that place, and his servants dug a well. A treaty with Abimelech. One day Isaac had visitors from Gerar. King Abimelech arrived with his advisor, Ahuzeth, and also Phicol, his army commander. "Why have you come?" Isaac asked them. "This is obviously no friendly visit. Since you sent me from your land in the most unfriendly way," they replied, "we can plainly see that the Lord is with you. So we decided we should have a treaty, a covenant between us. Swear that you will not harm us, just as we did not harm you. We have always treated you well, and we sent you away from us in peace. And now look how the Lord has blessed you." So Isaac prepared a great feast for them, and they ate and drank in preparation for the treaty ceremony. Early the next morning, they each took a solemn oath of non-aggression. Then Isaac sent them home again in peace. That very day, Isaac's servants came and told him about a well they had dug. "We found water," they said, so Isaac named the well Oath. And from that time to this, the town that grew there has been called Beersheba, Well of the Oath. At the age of 40, Esau married a young woman named Judith. The Lord the daughter of Beri the Hittite. He also married Basmath, the daughter of Lon the Hittite. But Esau's wives made life miserable for Isaac and Rebekah. All right, we're going to stop there today. I'm at the 10-minute mark. And we will continue with Genesis tomorrow. We'll begin with chapter 27. I hope you have a blessed day, a wonderful day. Make it productive. And just remember, bless somebody today. We all need that. Have a great day.